Hey yo, Mark here for Mark's Max Muscle. And today I'm going to be doing a profile on Chris Cormier. He is an American bodybuilder who competed in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. In the late 90s and early 2000s, he was without a doubt one of the best bodybuilders on the planet. So without further ado, let's take a look at Chris Cormier. Chris was born in 1967 in Palm Springs, California. Not a bad place to grow up if you want to be a bodybuilder. I honestly don't think Cormier had a single weakness. Front to back, head to toe, every single muscle was just world class. No matter what way you look at this guy, he was impressive. Not only was he quite massive, packing on 257 pounds onto a 5'9" frame, but he also had an extremely tight waist and never once had an issue with a protruding stomach. One other thing I noticed is Chris never had one of those unsightly tumorous belly buttons that a lot of today's competitors have. He would often showcase his midsection with his ever popular belly dance. Very entertaining for the audience. He was also known for being one of the last top contenders in the IFBB to be able to hit a vacuum pose. So it's a definite understatement to say that this guy had total control over his midsection. Of course, when the judges asked for the bodybuilders to turn around and display the back development, standing next to Cormier was not a great place to be. Here he is simply outclassing Flex Wheeler. And Flex Wheeler is no slouch in the back department. Of course, nobody was safe from these incredible back poses from Cormier. Here he is showing even Ronnie Coleman that he meant more than business in the rear lat spread. One other trait Cormier possessed was an extremely separated set of hamstrings. This is a definite plus in any of the back shots. It can make your competitor's legs look smooth and just way outclassed. Chris saw success in bodybuilding at a young age, winning the 1987 NPC Teen Nationals. His next big win came at the 1993 NPC USA Championships. Let's skip ahead to the 1994 Mr. Olympia. This is where Chris would make his Mr. Olympia debut. He didn't do too bad, finishing in the 6th position. All through 1995, Chris would compete in quite a few Grand Prix shows, placing 4th and 5th most of the time. This would all lead up, of course, to the 1995 Mr. Olympia event. Cormier would repeat his performance of the year before, with a 6th place finish. 96 would see Chris yet again tour the Grand Prix circuit, placing even lower this time, usually ending up in the 7th or 8th position. His Olympia placings were equally disappointing, as he would drop to the 7th spot. In 97, Cormier's Grand Prix placings would actually climb. He would place 2nd several times. This gave him momentum heading into that year's Night of Champions. He would place ahead of Milo Sursev, becoming the 1997 Night of Champions winner. This was quite a prestigious event to win. That year at the Olympia, however, it was disappointing once again for Chris as he dropped down to the 8th spot. 1998 would see the very first ever increase in Chris's Olympia placing. He would finish off in the 6th spot. 1999 was quite prosperous for Cormier. First with a huge win at that year's Ironman Pro Invitational. Then, at the 1999 Mr. Olympia, Cormier would not only improve on his placings, but he would also take home the bronze medal with a third-place finish. He would also earn himself a fresh, crisp $40,000 check in the process. The year 2000 and 2001, there was nothing but first and second place finishes for Cormier. Although he was absent from the 2000 Olympia, at the 2001 Mr. Olympia, he placed a respectable 5th. And an equally respectable $30,000 check goes to Mr. Chris Cormier for his efforts. 2002 would be another glorious year for Chris, winning all kinds of shows, never placing lower than 3rd. That year's Olympia, he would gather up his second bronze medal, as he would place 3rd yet again. That fantastic $50,000 check that Chris received for his 3rd place finish really must have put a smile on his face. Although he competed through 2003, he was absent from that year's Olympia. He would make his way back to the Olympia stage in 2004, only to drop to 7th place. The 2005 Mr. Olympia would be Chris Cormier's final time on the grandest stage in bodybuilding. He placed a disappointing 13th place. Chris would get a big win at the 2005 San Francisco Pro Invitational. In the process, he would actually score a victory over a crisp Dexter Jackson. He would continue to compete until 2007, when he officially retired from bodybuilding. In my opinion, Chris Cormier is one of, if not the best bodybuilder, never to have won the Olympia title. He is a Night of Champions winner, a 4-time Ironman Invitational winner. He's been a runner-up at the Arnold Classic, a record-breaking 6 times. And, of course, captured the bronze medal at the Olympia 2 times. He is, without a doubt, one of my all-time favorites for sure, and a true legend in the sport. He is the real deal, Chris Cormier. Well, that about does it for that one. Let me know in the comments section below if there's any other bodybuilders like Cormier that you want to see a profile done on. I'd like to increase my library of classic bodybuilders with not only my favorites, but yours as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit like and subscribe if you did. And that's it for now. This is Mark for Mark's Max Muscle.